when we started, we lived in an RV. And
Oh,
then,
mm-hmm.
tapos nag-move na din, tapos naging apartment, tapos ngayon naging bahay na talaga siya. Yung RV namin before is 32-foot RV lang siya. Tapos yung bahay namin is ngayon is 3,400 square feet.
You're listening to Tita Jackie's podcast where we talk about K1 visa, K2 spousal visa, and how to improve your life here in the US as a new immigrant and how to adjust to the culture faster. I'm your host, Jackie, and in today's episode, we will be talking to Arlene. She is a manager in the airport in Cebu, back in the Philippines. She is also a certified public accountant, and she will be sharing her story when she moved here in the US. She will actually share an inspiring story for you guys that not everybody that's marrying an American is aftering for the money, because when she moved here she also lived in an RV, and then suddenly she started working here and they were able to live in a very nice house. So please continue watching and hear directly the story from Arlene. Arlene, thank you so much for joining us. And can you please tell us about yourself and where you're from in the Philippines and your current location here in America?
Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching to Tita Jackie's channel. I'm Arlene, I'm from Cebu, Philippines, and yeah, born and raised in Cebu. I moved here in Washington State in December of 2019, and I am a work from home mom of one. And yeah, my husband is an American and I met him online.
Wow. So can you please tell us about your visa status? What was the visa that you have when you moved here in America?
Right. So when we were deciding like what route we're gonna take, we've decided to go with the K1 visa.
Mm-hmm. So
We're,
why?
we're
Mm-hmm. So
sorry.
why did you consider K1 and not the spousal visa, Sis Arlene?
Because for one, what we really wanted is the quickest way for me to get to America. And based on the feedbacks from Filipinas who have done the same, they said that K1 is a lot faster to process, or the processing time for the K1 visa is a lot faster to finish than the spousal visa. So my husband was really excited, like if because this Jackie, when I met my husband, I was already almost 28 years old, and we were considering, the window of time of my fertility, because we really wanted to have a baby. That's
Oh,
why my husband is saying that the quicker you can get to America, the better, because of course we wanted to spend just me and him together, and then plus the processing of the visa, you know what I mean,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
before we get to have a baby, because if he said we can't afford like more than a year of waiting time for the visa, because yeah, considering like I said, because we feel that if I will wait past my age of 30, it'd be difficult for me to get pregnant. So yeah, that was really one of our biggest considerations why we took the K1 route.
Wow. Yeah, so yeah, that is correct. That's also the reason why we chose K1 instead of the spousal visa, because spousal visa is really longer compared to the K1. But Sis Arlene, can you tell us how long you've been talking online before you decided to move here in America?
All right, very. So I met my husband online on March 8th of 2019. 2019. So, and then I was actually the one who messaged him first. And so we started talking, and then, but yeah, since we started talking, we never stopped talking. Like when I said talking, it was very consistent, and it's like almost 24 hours talking. Like all the downtime was only when I'm sleeping or he's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, pretty much. And then he decided after 2 months from communicating that he's gonna surprise me in the Philippines. So basically, I really had no idea that he was flying. I was at work at that time. I was having my lunch, and then I received a call from our security guard. And then she said, Miss Arlene, somebody's looking for you. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I did not expect anybody, and I did not order something. Because yeah, I
Yes.
did not expect any deliveries or something to visit me. And she said, but Miss Arlene, I'm serious. Somebody's looking for you, but you need to come downstairs. And I said, but who is that person? I will not go downstairs if blah blah blah. And then she said, "Oh, Miss Arlene, I really can't." And I said, "Oh," and she said, "Okay, well, I can't tell his name, but all I can say is that he is tall, um, handsome, and blue eyes." And then I was like, and then I looked at my manager because we were just sitting our cubicle was just next to each other, and I said, Sir Alvin, is she playing with me or is it really Paul who is downstairs? And then it was so funny, sis Jackie. And at that time when she called, I was actually eating lunch, and it
Mhm.
was century tuna with egg and fried. Yes, imagine that. That's my favorite, century tuna with egg and fried fish.
Mhm.
Imagine the combination.
Oh
And
my.
so Sir Alvin said that, do you have a toothbrush? You need to brush your teeth like carefully before you go downstairs. And I said, I was scrambling for it in my drawer, and I said, no, no. And Sir Alvin said, because if you don't have, I have a spare one. You can use you can have my spare one. I said, it's all right, Sir Alvin, because I have a toothbrush here. So I brush my teeth, and then on my way to the that kind of walks is Jackie that like I'm just gonna act like normal, like
Mhm.
nothing's gonna happen
Yeah.
because I don't want other people to know like something's going on. Because
Mhm.
before I get to the before I get to the like the lobby where he was waiting, like in the security guard area,
Mhm.
I had to pass through departments, and people know me and blah blah blah. And then they would ask if I would be like in a hurry or something. So I
Mhm.
was kind of like acting like it's just normal that I'm
Nothing
gonna
happened.
go downstairs. But I
Mhm.
can't help it. Like for example, like walk, and but then and then we go, walk because because you're getting fast. It's like, oh no, no, Arlene, I need to act normal. It's like walk, but it, and then like halfway towards the lobby, si Jackie, I met somebody who was coming from downstairs, and I asked, um, it was actually one of our external auditors, and I said, Breb, the guard said that somebody was looking for me. Do you know who that is? And then Rev's like, oh no, Miss Arlene, I'm so sorry. I can't tell you who that is. But all I can tell you is that you need to fix your hair a little bit. And I was
Oh
like,
my.
what? I didn't say, oh my God, so it is really Paul. And then so and then Sasage, I went downstairs. And I met him for the very first time, all sweaty because he arrived, imagine noontime in the Philippines.
Mhm.
It was
Mhm.
super hot and humid, right, in the Philippines. And he walked from Terminal 2 to Terminal 1 because my office is in upstairs, like third floor of the Terminal 1. And then he was from Terminal 2, and he said that his plan was just after he got out of the Terminal 2, he'll just ask, where's the office of the airport management or something like that.
Oh
And
my
then he
God.
was led to my office. And that was it. So that was after 2 months of communicating online that he surprised me. He stayed there for 7 days. And
Mhm.
then he got back to the US with all the, requirements needed from me, all,
Mhm.
the pictures and whatnot, because he was really already intending to process the Q1 visa the moment he got back to the US. And then he flew back to the Philippines in July. Oh no, yeah, in July 2019 to visit me again because July 2 was my birthday.
Mm.
So and then at that time I think he spent um 2 weeks in there, almost 2 weeks, 10 days or something like that. And then and that was it. That's pretty much it. And when he got back to the US, he said, And that was like on his first visit, sis Jackie, when he left, like at the airport,
Uh-huh.
I did not feel like I'm gonna miss him because I know in July he's gonna come back, right? I did not cry when he left on his first visit, but on his
What month
second
is that
visit,
again? What month that he visited you?
May at first.
May. Okay, May, June,
May.
July.
So
Yeah, it's almost.
when he flew back to the Philippines on that first visit, I did not cry at all in the airport because I have access to Terminal 2. I was really able to send him like to the boarding gates. I was yeah, I can get to the boarding gates. I can get to the bridge towards the aircraft, and then I did not cry because I know that he's gonna come back. But oh my gosh, I was shocked like on the second visit because I know that he's not gonna be coming back. I'm gonna be the one flying, or and we were not definite when
Mm-hmm.
is that gonna happen because it will depend on the processing of the visa, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just can't hold back my tears at that time. Like I was crying. I was a mess when he flew back to the United States, but we get lucky because in that same year, December 2019, I was able to spend the Christmas with him here in the United States.
That is right. Yeah, that is right. I remember that. So, can you tell us on the first meeting? So you said that he surprised you. So meaning to say that he already booked hotel rooms and everything like that, or you do it after you met him on the first day?
Oh, he arranged everything. So what happened was he bought the package from, I don't know, was it Expedia or Priceline, where you buy your ticket plus hotel.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Your
That's
ticket
what
plus
they
hotel, like
offer.
it's
Mhm.
yeah, so it's already yeah. And then like a combo, whatever package,
Mhm.
and then as to like the itinerary, like what where we went to, there was no plan at all. Like I was just like, oh, do you want to go tomorrow? Do you want to go here? You want to go there? So just pretty much like that. And actually, me and my husband were really kind of like the winging it kind of person. We like winging it. We're not really like planners.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we are very I would say, what was that, Sis Jackie?
Just
Spontaneous.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
go with the flow.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you use a agency for filing for your K1, or you just do it yourself?
All right. So that one as well. We of course we studied. We did the research, and I thought to myself that I can do it. That we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to use any agency.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, I thought to my husband, other people was able to do it successfully, why can't I? Like somewhat that was the mindset that I had at that time. So I did the research, did all the reading, and did all the filling out of the paperwork. And basically all he got to do was pretty much like sign
Mm-hmm.
or fill out the information on his end, like for example,
Wow. So
yeah, but
you
pretty
did
much
everything.
yes, but the forms, I was the one who was like filling out most of it, and the
Mm-hmm.
ones that he has to fill in, he did that part. And then when he was doing it, we were video calling actually, sis Jackie. Like he was like, "What do I need to put in this part again?" And I said, "Your mother's name." And it's like, because I can't, like when I was filling out the document initially, I don't have the information with me, and he still has to get it from his parents. So he said, okay, I'll just do it myself after I get the documents from my parents, or I get my birth certificate. Yeah, at that time he was also like still locating for the birth certificate because everything has to match. Yeah, everything really has to match with your documents because USCIS will, yeah, cross check the form that you're filling out. And even we don't want them to like, go question like, what is this? What is that? So if for example the place was spelled out, even like for example the street was spelled out in your birth certificate as ST, then we really had to follow it as ST. And if your birth certificate says, for example, like uh where, yeah, place of birth, if for example the name of hospital was written in there, then you really have to like copy what was in there. And yeah, so pretty much like that.
Wow. So during my time, my husband also trying to consider taking the agency, but I think it costs like 700 to 1 or 1500. And then my husband doing some research, and he said like what they need to do is to guide you what are the documentations allowed, what are the best proof that you can provide. You will still fill out the form, you still have to provide those documentation, they will just guide you. So we decided to do it ourselves as well. My husband did all the paperwork, and
Uh-huh.
um with the form I-129, I only filled out the information about myself, and then I send it over to him. We just do it online. So yeah, it's an easy application. You don't need to have an attorney or an agency if it's just the basic case, because there are some complex cases as well, like many times that they have been married, divorced, and
Oh
things.
yeah, speaking of that, sis Jackie, yeah. Because me, I've never been married. My husband as well has never been married.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there were no like really
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
complicated documents to submit, or like confusing gray areas. There was no really.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much straightforward. So I told my husband, we can do this. We don't have to pay somebody.
Right, right, yeah. So on the form there are some spot right there or question that saying how did you meet, right? I've seen a lot of people they submitted a supplement page where they actually wrote everything what happened. Did you do that as well, or no?
Okay, so I did not do that. I did not require my husband to do that, but he did. He made like a pretty much a love letter to the consul.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like he narrated everything, and it was like
Mhm.
what do you call this, is Jackie? Pretty much like
A
the
supplement,
series,
yeah.
yeah, the series of events, things like
Mhm.
that. And also yeah, pretty much that one. And also, we asked my best friend to do an affidavit, like for the witness or something.
Mhm.
And then, but what happened was I did all the writing, and
Mhm.
then my friend all she did was to sign it. But of course, she has to read it because I know it was already like a burden to ask,
Mhm.
for yeah,
For
for you to
somebody.
attest for
Mhm.
somebody. So I just said that I will do the write up for you, and
Mhm.
then you just read it, and if you're okay with it, then yeah, you
Most
sign it.
especially if it's an English letter that you have to like, write down all the events. Like, of course,
Yes.
as a Filipino back then, I can't even write a letter in English. So yeah, that's helpful if you did that. And you know what? It's not a requirement to do that, but it is the best proof that they consider it as the best proof that you are together, like a genuine relationship. So I've seen a lot of people also that got an RFE because they lack of documentation, and that's one thing that the USCIS is actually like recommending them to do.
Yeah, and another interesting, I would like to emphasize in that witness affidavit or something. I inserted a picture of the three of us. Like when Paul went to the Philippines, we of course we met with my best friend, and we had a picture at that time. I also included that in the letter, just
Oh,
the proof, and at the same time, the scanned copy of her IDs, like government issued IDs. So just to additional proof to the consul checking that she is a real person, you know?
right, exactly. That's correct. That's correct.
Mhm.
So it's not just like you made up a person to witness of your relationship. Yeah, that's really great. Tips for our viewers. And do you remember what are the documentation that you provided included on the packet when you filed for the K1?
For the K1 basic, pretty much we would just follow the basic requirements listed in the USCIS travel, whatever that is. I think you can link that in the description, says Jackie.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but at the top of my head, of course, birth certificate and ID for the petitioner. like the proof of nationality,
Mm-hmm.
and then proof of income, and then of course pictures of you together, because that's their biggest like, the requirement that you can only petition your fiance if you have met in person.
Correct.
Yeah, so we've added that pictures together,
Mm-hmm.
and some what else? Yeah, yeah, those, yeah, just picture together, affidavit of the witness,
Mm-hmm.
and then my ID, my husband's ID, my birth certificate, his birth certificate, because they have to cross check it in the application form that
Mm-hmm.
we submitted. I mean that he submitted, and then what else? Pretty much, yeah, those,
Yeah, for
yeah, those,
initial. Mm-hmm.
yeah, for the
So,
initial,
mhm.
yes. And
So
there's
how long
a
is the
different.
processes? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that there's another set of requirements or documentation when I appeared in the embassy for the interview.
Interview, yes, correct. So how long did it took for you to complete the processes, Arlene?
So he filed our paperwork around, I would say, last week of May,
Mm-hmm.
and they got back to us last week of June that our application was approved. So pretty much when he got back to the Philippines for the second time, our application was already approved. But of course, it is said there that it will take time for it to be delivered to the NBC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then to to the embassy, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty quick. And then June, right? And I was like, my husband has been bugging me and bugging me like, have you heard from them? Did you already get the letter from the embassy for you to appear at the for the interview? Because he was really anxious, and then in my mind I was like, no, I haven't, because my hometown is a remote area. It's about 3 hours away from the city, which is Cebu City.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was very anxious because he really wanted to celebrate the what do you call that, the November 20th
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he wanted me to celebrate first Thanksgiving in the US with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was very anxious and all that, and then I said, I kept on like watching or researching how long did it take for you to get invited for the embassy after your petition is approved. And they said just 4 months or even 3 months you were gonna get in it. And it's like it was already November, and I still did not hear anything from the embassy. So
Mm-hmm.
I told to my friend that so I was talking to my friend, and then she no, my friend was kind of like sharing, oh, you know what, I have a friend that is already in the US. I was like, really, when did she file? I asked, and she said, oh, I'm gonna ask her timing so you can gauge. And we found out that they got the invite for the interview just um within 3 months from the approval. And I said, like, me, I was already past that. So what I did is, Jackie, I made a long distance call to the US embassy.
Mm-hmm. And
So
they
yeah, I
gave you
told
the
the embassy.
appointment?
Yeah, I called the embassy, and then I asked them that I just want to know the status of my case, because I received the notification that it was already approved and forwarded to the NBC, but I did not receive the documentations for me to appear for an interview. And then they did the quick research, and they got back to me and said, "Hey, Miss Erdine, actually you are invited for interview. We sent it out in October. Oh no,
Oh.
August. We sent it August or something, September. Yeah, around that time. We already sent it out. It's actually, you haven't received it in the mail." I said, no, it was not delivered at my house. And they said, all right, you don't have to wait for the documents, for the hard copies of the documents. We will send it to you. We will send you a digital copy on your
Mhm.
email, and then just print them out, and then just use that when you appear for your interview.
Oh, it's a good thing that you called them.
Yes. Yeah, I called the US embassy, sis. But of course, it is in our nature as Filipinas that we don't want to call, because in my mind at that time was like, what if I call, they're gonna be pissed at me because
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
annoying. You know what I mean? But then my
Yes.
husband, with an American mindset, was like, no, it's not something that they're gonna be pissed, or if you're gonna call, it's
Mhm,
fine. So
mhm.
he was pushing me to call, so I made that long distance call to the embassy, and I'm really glad I did. And guess what, sis Jackie? The document that I was waiting for the longest time, it arrived um on that day of my interview.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was interviewing like on that day for the K1 visa.
Mhm.
My brother called me that the document is delivered in our house.
Oh my gosh.
I
Oh my.
was like, too late. I don't need them anymore because I'm already here in the embassy.
So what did is the embassy also available located in Cebu or you went to Manila?
I had to fly to Manila.
Oh, okay. So did you do the medical first or just like on the same trip, or you fly for medical then come back to Cebu and then come back for visa interview?
No, so I did the first one wherein I flew to Manila, and then I just gave myself like 2 days and then schedule for my interview because I was very optimistic that nothing's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a smooth process. I'm confident enough with my health, things like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
my schedule for the, what you call this, my St.
Medical.
Luke's was, I think,
Mhm.
Thursday, and then my schedule for the interview was Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I also used that time like the Saturday, Sunday to, and my husband said, "Oh, take your mom to the amusement park," and because it'll be your first time, you and your mom's first time to be in Manila together.
Oh, so
So
you travel with your mom.
yes, yes, yeah. Um, because I talked to my mom, and if she can accompany me to Manila because I will be staying there for days, and also with regards to like when you go to the embassy, you cannot bring your phone with you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
so with my mom with me, she was waiting outside of the embassy, and then she has my things.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard. So to me, I just left everything in the hotel room. But it's
Ah,
so nice. It's so nice to have somebody outside waiting for you, have your stuff, so you don't have to worry because like for example, to me, how can I get an Uber or what was that called in the Philippines? Grab.
yeah.
Going to my hotel room to US Embassy if I don't have my phone with me. So it's hard. So yeah, it's a good idea that you brought your mom with you when you went to Manila. So yeah, everything works out with your scheduling. You're smart. You did schedule ahead of time, like giving 2 days before your visa interview. So do you still remember the process that you've been through at the US Embassy in Manila?
Embassy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I picked a schedule in the morning as well. Like most of the people were saying, I picked in the morning because they're in a better mood, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And but I was not in like in the first, batch. I think the open schedule that I was able to take was the on the second batch. And
Mm,
then I was surprised as Jackie because when I got there it was already crowded, like outside.
right, it's full. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, lots of people already there. Even if we are told, right, do not come 30 minutes before your event, right? Before
Yes.
your schedule, do not come 30 minutes, come at least 15 minutes because they don't want you to crowd the area, but people are already there.
Yeah, they are already there. Yeah.
Yeah, people are already there, so yeah, I was shocked that no, it's already crowded. And then I asked the guard what schedule are you entertaining now? And then he said, oh, the 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. And I said, oh, I'm 8:30, and you have to show proof that you're 8:30, and then you're
Mm,
gonna be allowed in. And once I was allowed inside, it was a quick process. So first, you're gonna go to the first booth where they will check your documentation with you if you had all the requirements that is required. So the night or even days before I went to the interview, everything was already in a, binder, or like in
Right.
a clear
Mhm,
book. And I also have a checklist, and
mhm.
I checked my list multiple times if I had everything. And I
Mhm.
always like made sure that I memorize the placement of my documents, so that when they say, okay, give me the proof of income, then I know that it's there.
Right there,
Give
right.
me, yeah, give me this, give me that.
Mhm,
It'll
mhm.
be easy for me to, give them the documents, because I memorize like the, yeah, the sequence of documents, the document placement in my clear book.
Right. And the first booth, I remember the Filipino lady is the one that actually checked my documents like birth certificate, the payment for the visa. Did she also kind of interview you a little bit of how did you meet your husband, how long you been talking, something like that, or no?
No, actually, she oh, hold on. Yeah, yeah, I think she did like a somewhat casual
Yeah,
um
casual. Mm-hmm.
yeah, casual interview, and then she told me that, oh, this is the proof of income, and this is the,
Yes.
like, even if you already know it, she was guiding you that this is the document.
Yeah.
The consul will ask you to hand this to him or her later
Yeah.
on. So that, yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, she was like basically training me for the final interview with the consul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. That's what
I
happened.
like that part. I like that part actually, that they did that kind of step, that a Filipina will guide you
Right.
from the documents. Oh, do you have the documents, everything? Oh,
Mhm,
you don't have the blah blah blah. Oh,
mhm.
it's right there. For some things like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
so that pretty much you are, yeah,
you're
you're
ready.
ready. You're ready, and
Yeah.
then
Mm-hmm.
while waiting, like in the embassy, you will be the queue is the pretty much like an old school queue, because like you will be
And the
you will be
chair.
sitting, yeah, chairs. So chairs are lined up, and if somebody is gonna get called, you will
Mhm.
move, like you will really move physically to the next chair, and if it's
Yes, I remember
pretty much,
that.
yeah,
I
pretty
remember
much an old,
that.
yeah, pretty much an old school, right? I mean,
Mhm,
they could have just like, handed us the number, and then
mhm,
we can sit wherever we please,
mhm.
within
Yeah,
the sitting area that they provide.
yeah.
But this, but then just to give an idea for people that it's gonna be like a round robin.
Yeah, I
It's like,
remember it
okay,
now.
yes, standing
Yeah.
up, and it's like, oh, somebody. And then good thing I was seated next to a very friendly lady as well. So it'll talk. It it'll take a while, because sometimes there are some cases that they need a lot of time to
Mm-hmm.
finish, because
Mm-hmm.
they need, I don't know, a lot of vetting, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of interviewing to do, and checking of the documents, blah blah blah. So it really, you cannot really say that it's just 15 minutes, or it's a case to case basis. And in
Right,
some
right.
cases, it was so funny, Sis Jackie, because there's some cases, if the Filipina took so long to finish, we'd be like, there's gonna be like the nosy Filipina around, like, what do you think is the problem? Oh my god, oh my god. I have this Filipina that I was like, she was like, oh my god, do you think I'm gonna pass? Because my husband has no, I mean, his income actually, we're doubtful if we're gonna qualify this and that and all that. But in my mind, I was confident, but I also don't want to like really show like, oh, I'm confident. No, of course I'm sympathetic to them, but yes,
Mhm.
all kinds of emotion. There's also a Filipina next to me.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if I'm gonna approve or deny.
Mhm.
Like whatever, something like that. But in my mind, and then in my mind as well, it's like, oh, I know, because our relationship is legit. I'm very sure. Like in my mind, it's like, this is just what you call that, sis Jackie? There's
Like
a term.
formality.
Yes,
Formality.
this is
Yeah.
just for formality's sake.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, for me this is just a formality sake. Because
Yeah.
I'm legit. I have nothing to hide. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was an what do you call this? It was a beautiful experience. And also take note, in the waiting area as well, there's also a waiting area for the husbands, like the Americans who
Mhm.
are accompanying their fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're seated, and then just in the next set of chairs. like
Mm-hmm.
next to the people waiting. And also another thing with like how you dress up. Dress in clothing that
Comfortable.
you are comfortable. That's
Yes.
pretty much it. Like yeah, you're comfortable. And then yeah, I I just wore pants and a blouse and flat shoes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, pretty much I did the same thing because like you're gonna stand outside for the embassy. You don't know, like I'm not comfortable wearing high heels because if you're just like walking and standing, it will you're already nervous and it will add up that you're gonna be in
Yeah.
pain, something like so. Yeah, it's better to wear comfortable clothes, and shoes when you go to your interview. So I remember when during my time, since Arlene, the lady, there's a couple, she had her fiance with her during her interview, and we are actually staying in the same hotel room, so we went to the same at the same time to the US embassy. So
Uh-huh.
when she was having her interview, the officer asked the American fiance to step back because he cannot answer on behalf of his fiance. So yeah, he was just like they were together, but then the American fiance cannot say anything when the consul start interviewing the Filipino fiance. So yeah, I think you can you can go with your Filipino fiance, but you are not allowed to say anything during the interview process. But I'm not sure right now because it's a COVID time, so maybe they're no longer allowing company when you go into the to the U.S. embassy office. So anyway, so do you remember the questions that the consular officer asked you?
Yeah, the first question was of course, what is your name?
Right, it's very common.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the question. What is your name? And what is your date of birth? So
Mm-hmm.
to confirm that you are really the person that's on the documents.
Mm-hmm.
And yes. And then of course the question of like where did you meet
Yes.
your fiance and how long have you been communicating and when did he visit you and what is your job
Mm-hmm.
and then so yeah I was shocked because when I said oh I'm a junior manager of Jimar Maguire Airport and she's oh a manager and oh interesting thing also as well is that the consul that was interviewing me
Uh-huh.
was on training.
Oh.
Yes, it was on training. So if she was not on training, actually, probably my interview would be cut to like 1/4 of that time that I spent with them. But because she was on training, like she was trained, like I can hear the guy who was, I'm kind somewhat here or like, read the lips or something that if they're like asking you or something, the guy was training her like where to look in the document, to see if she was telling the truth. Yes. And something to keep in mind as well to the Filipinas is that the consul will not look at you in the eye.
Oh, really?
They will not look at you in the eye. They will ask you and they will look at a different direction. So don't feel awkward. I know it is awkward for us to talk to someone who is
Like,
not looking
look.
us in the eye.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, because actually that's what they said. Actually, the it's their technique for the console really. Also, probably like it'll somewhat make you feel more nervous. You know
Mm,
what
yeah.
I mean? And also, there's another conspiracy according to my like office mates in the Philippines when they were because they also had the same experience when they're applying for we call this as
Tourist
Jackie
tourist visa.
tourist visa that they're saying that the consuls are doing that because they said that if you're looking straight to the eye of that person, if that person has like a hypnotic ability, they can hypnotize you or something. So
Oh.
they can like there's some person who has that ability to make the person believe whatever you are telling. So they
Saying.
said that's why consuls are trained not to look straight in the eye.
Mm,
So yeah, for
I didn't know
Filipinas,
that.
yeah, so for Filipinas, just don't feel awkward or something that they are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They are just trained to do that. And also another thing probably is that because when they ask you a question, they're looking at your answers on the application form that you gave them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for example, what is your name? So they're looking, yeah, okay. Well, like where do you live, or like what is your birth date of birth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only time the consul looked at me in the eye was when she said, "Welcome to the United States."
Aw.
Yes.
Did
And then
she did she
with
say
a
like
very big smile.
congratulations or you pass or something?
No, no, no congratulations to you, Paz. It's just she just said, "Welcome to the United States." Oh, another thing as well, Sis Jackie, was I was asked, "What are your wedding plans?"
Mm.
And then I just told her that we're planning to get married right away. Um so pretty much it's gonna be winter and it's cold. So we're gonna have the wedding indoors.
Mm.
We're thinking of having it in my parents-in-law's house, and just a very intimate wedding, just me, my parents-in-law, and and his siblings. And she's like, "Oh, that's so nice."
Oh. So
Yeah.
did she ask you to provide some documentation? Because during my time on my final interview, like they did not ask for anything, any documentation at all.
No, yes. I was so prepared.
Yeah, me too. I
I
have
came very loaded and prepared, but they did not ask for the pictures. Like in my mind, it's like, don't you want to ask the pictures? Don't you want to ask?
That's what I was thinking too. Like I've been waiting and waiting, and then suddenly he handed me the papers that saying "Welcome to United States," something like that. And after that interview, did you realize that you passed or not, or you have doubts?
I realized right away that I passed it because she said that welcome to the United States.
Yeah, because my time, like, yeah, I know. I think I remember he said something, congratulations, welcome to United States. And then I went back outside. It was really quick. I feel like it's only 5 minutes time and like I did not absorb what happened. And I feel like I passed. Did I pass? And then I talked to my my fiance that time, and and we're talking. It's like, so what happened? What happened? It's like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I pass or not. Something like that. I was like lost because it happened in a very quick time. So I wasn't sure about it.
Yeah,
That's why I
in
was
my case,
wondering if you experienced that too.
is Jackie. I would say it only took also like even if she was on training at that time, my interview was very quick as well. It was, I would say,
Yeah,
five
yeah,
minutes.
yeah, I
Then she
think
was
so.
already on training. How much more if she was not on training?
Yeah, I think it's just
Yeah.
3 to 5 minutes for the final interview. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like it's just so quick. And sometimes when I was just walking, like I don't know what happened. I no longer remember what just happened. So that's why I was wondering if some other applicants also experienced the same thing. Because I remember a lot of my members in my group are asking me the same thing. What if they will say that welcome to United States, you mean that means you passed, and said yes. Because yeah, I think we have the same feelings that we're not sure if we did pass or not. Yeah, so that's good that you are
I was already told, Sis Jackie, by my office mates. They said that ours, when they will take your passport,
passport.
then you are approved because they will attach the visa to your passport. And I said,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
So I already know. So aside from the hint that she said, welcome to the United States, and then she asked for my passport. I was like, oh, okay. I I got it.
Wow. So can you also like tell us about your flight, your earn do you remember something before that? Do you remember something about CFO?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, when I arrived in after the interview, I was told that the visa would take 10 to 14 days to arrive in Cebu. And my
Mm-hmm.
husband really wanted me, like, because I already missed the Thanksgiving, he said that you should be here for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to Cebu, I um I immediately arranged for my CFO
Mm-hmm.
seminar, and because he really wanted to fly me to the US right away. And guess what, is Jackie? Even before, even before I got the documentation from the embassy, I
Mm-hmm.
already filed for my like resignation from my company. Like
Mm,
I resigned because there's 30 days, right? So I already, because
yes.
I know that I don't know what, I forgot now, like what pushed me to put in the resignation now, so that the 30 days will be, counting already.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? My last day at the company was supposedly December 18. But
Mm-hmm.
because I am flying on that day, that was the flight day to United States, I had to use my remaining vacation time for that day. So my really last day in the company was December 17. So yeah, December 17, my last day at the company. December 18, I was already flying to the United States. And
Oh.
guess, so there was really no stopping, sis Jackie.
Yeah,
I was like
yeah.
working to the very last day that I was in the Philippines. And what you call this, because I worked at the airport, I was shocked with my office mates were very sweet actually, because
Mm-hmm.
because on that flight day I was flying alone. And then on my flight date, I was shocked that people are just like, the cleaner at the airport, or like the meters greeters, they're handing me roses. And
Oh.
they're handing me roses, roses. It was like, I know what it is. So I was already
Oh, it's so
I was
sweet.
like crying, like all like every step of the way. Like for example, when I was at the like checking the baggage, so they gave me a rose, and when I was paying for my travel tax, they gave me a rose, and then like
Oh.
somebody who was just like a janitor at the airport, like, and then gave me a rose, and then like walking towards, like, you pay for your terminal fee, that because at the airport, that's our that's part of the airport operation. So they gave me a rose, and basically they're my office mates, like we are employed in the same
Oh, that's
company. And
so
then
oh,
when I
sweet.
went to, like, after I go through the immigration, my office mates, some of my office mates met me, because right after you pass the immigration would be the duty free. And
Mm-hmm.
then so they walked me to my boarding gates, and when I went to the boarding area, boarding gates, my office mates were there waiting, my boss or CFO
Oh.
was there. And we were just like laughing. Of course, they were crying.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could imagine. I'm even emotional right now by just listening to you.
And people were looking at me like, who's this girl? Why is she so special?
Think that you are a celebrity.
Yeah, they were like the foreigners, is Jackie, that was on the same flight with me. They were really looking at me like, who are you? Why are you getting roses and we are not getting any?
Yeah, yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
that's really sweet. You got a very nice coworker and like yeah, you're in a in a good place.
And
So,
also,
mhm.
sorry, Sir
No,
Jackie.
go
And
ahead, go
another
ahead.
another nice thing that they did for me was they talked to, like, our, what was the position of Sir Alex at that time? Deputy, or something in somewhere else, but he was already like our deputy CFO. Yeah, deputy CFO, like my boss basically. And then he talked to the person that was like the airline. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. He talked to the head of the department that are directly working with the airline. And then that person talked to the airline head, and then that airline head arranged that my luggage will be like a priority luggage.
Wow.
So even if I was flying economy, my luggage was part of the business class, that it will come out like first. So Jackie, like they can
Yeah,
arrange that
yeah.
that they will put a tag on your luggage that this is a priority luggage. So they did that for me as well.
Wow, that's really
Yeah.
nice. So, Sis Arlene, do you remember that on the CFO they kind of like the session when they are trying to like introduce us to the American culture, they're kind of using the five love language on that session. Do you remember?
I barely remembered actually, because I was totally bored. I don't know. No offense to them. No offense to them. to the presenter, but I was bored. But my takeaway there was that, like, if you will be experiencing abuse by
Mm,
your partner, do not hesitate to reach out to these agencies. These are numbers, blah blah. Because basically they're saying that you cannot be 100% guaranteed that the person you're talking to is representing himself
mm,
as he is, because he might be, some
mm,
some somebody else, like a different kind of person when you actually met him or something. So basically that. And then of course they reminded us to obey the rules of the country that you're going to. And
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because
And
I remember really, because before like before I actually went here, my husband already like bought me that book from Gary Chapman, like the five love languages. So when they present to us on during that CFO session, I kind of like, it looks like this is from the book that I've read already, like the five love languages. That's why I mentioned it, because I know you all are familiar about that. So okay, so what airline did you use when you moved here in the US, is Arlene?
we picked Eva Air,
Mm.
and the layover was in Taiwan.
Okay. So
Yes, so
what
the flight from
experience?
the Philippines to Taiwan was 3 hours. And
Mm-hmm.
then Taiwan to United States was, I think, 10 hours. But
Mm-hmm.
the layover was like 8 to 10 hours. I forgot now. But it was quite a long time at the airport. But I was just inside the airport anyway, so I was just burning time through, checking stalls and just admiring the airports. It's really nice, picture and this and that. I was trying to make friends, and so that, I would already know like a Filipino or
Mm-hmm.
somebody get to Washington. But I didn't find any Filipino in the boarding gate that are somewhat like open to be friends with. Like, they're very private, sort of like they don't want to talk to you. So I just said, okay, I'm not gonna talk to you too, or something like that.
So
If
what
you're
you
not,
yeah,
because you can feel that's his Jackie, right? Like, if you
yes,
smile
correct.
at the person, and if it will not reciprocate your gesture, then she will
Right.
be, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'll leave you alone.
Yeah. How's the experience? So is this your first time to fly by yourself international, or you've done it before?
That was my second time. My first international flight was to Hong Kong.
Mm.
And so yeah, but that was my longest flight, and that was, of course, my first time flying to the United States.
And you don't have any struggle at all because you already worked in an airport, so you know what to do.
Oh yeah, that pretty much really helps this, Jackie, because before, when I was not working at the airport, of course, when you talk about airport, you'll have that anxiety, like, what are
Mhm.
they gonna do? Because they're gonna be super scrutinizing. What if they're
Right.
gonna find something like that? But
Mm-hmm.
because I was already working at the airport, and airport is pretty much like our second home. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
can go anywhere in the airport. We can blah blah blah. So no, I did not feel
Yeah,
any.
you
Yeah,
are
because
familiar about it already.
yes, yes, like, yeah. And
So
then
what?
in my mind, I was like, oh, this is something as well with the immigrations, is Jackie, because of course they will look at your, like, documentation, like, certificate of employment.
Mm-hmm.
I brought that with me because the immigration asked that as well. I don't know why she asked, but she asked, and then she said, "Oh, your company is Gemar Megawide. Where is that?" And then in my mind was like, hey, that's the company operating the airport, don't you know? But so but of course I have to answer politely. So
Mm-hmm.
I just said that Gemar Megawide is the consortium, so it's a company that's operating the airport. And it's like, oh, really? It's like, I don't know. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and then so, but I was shocked, but I just still I still answered her politely.
Mm-hmm. So I don't remember like having struggle at all with the immigration. It seems like they did not ask me that much information. I think I only provided them the my passport, and they did not ask any other question. Yeah, so it was just a smooth sailing for me. But what's your port of entry, Sis Arlene?
Um, Seattle, SeaTac, Seattle Tacoma International Airport.
So how's your experience? Did they ask you a lot of questions? Did they took the yellow packet from you?
Yes, he took the yellow packet and then of course asked the questions like, "What is your name?"
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
time.
"What is your name?" And what is your date of birth?
Mm-hmm.
What is your husband's name, fiance's name? Where does he live? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, his address. What is his address? And that's it. And then he just
Right.
said, "Welcome." Yeah, he just said, "Welcome to the United States."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, question is like, why are you flying to the United States?
Mm.
And then
Okay.
I said, for marriage. And then he said, oh, and I said, he said, congratulations. And
Okay.
well, congratulations and welcome to the United States.
Yeah.
And it was funny, sis Jackie. I thought, oh my God, this is it. And I'm already past it. And then because I was a priority luggage, right?
Uh-huh.
So my luggage came out in the as part of the first batch. So I
Uh-huh.
immediately grabbed my luggage and I was so confident walking out. Like I'm so excited to get out of that area.
Uh-huh.
And then the security, I don't know, sis Jackie, I was selected to like pre-screen my luggage. So I was shocked. I was like, what? But she didn't open my luggage. She just asked me if I was bringing canned goods, like meat or something, because it's not allowed. Are you bringing flowers, blah, blah, blah? And I said, no, not at all. I'm just bringing clothes from the Philippines. And I said, oh, I have some leftover snacks from the airplane. And she said, oh, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, and then she let me go. But I was shocked that I was like walking and somebody just stopped me in the back. It's like, hi, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Yeah, can I have a minute, please? I just want to ask you, or blah blah. It's like, okay.
You know what? That happened to me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they did not screen my luggage, but they just like I was just walking. I'm close to where the passengers are going, and then you will see the people waiting on. And then I was shocked when somebody asked me like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" It's like, "Okay." And I was confused, but he was wearing a like a uniform that
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
at the airport, and he asked me, he's like, "Oh, it's just a quick survey." Like he asked me the same thing from the consul, like, "What's the reason why I'm flying to United States and everything like that?" And it took me a while. It's like I thought it's just like a quick interview, but it was a long interview. And then my
Really?
husband, yeah, my husband's waiting on me. He's like, "Where are you? Where are you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because like the guy just stopped me. I'm close to the door that I'm already like people the waiting area, and like yeah, and I got stopped because of it. But anyway, so Sis Arlene, so when you arrived in America, did you already applied for a social security, or you included that on your adjustment of status?
I applied for my social security number separately because I did my research as well, and I yeah I did my research and it's I called yeah when I was filling out when I was filling out the adjustment of status the form, and there was a question there if I wanna have my social security together in the pocket or process it separately. And I don't know. I think I just decided that I'm gonna process separately. I called the office and then they said that yeah they can process it separately for me,
Mm-hmm.
and so they did. And the beauty of that was that I was able to get my oh no actually sis Jackie, that was a total coincidence because here's the thing. I need to I wanted to yeah, my husband wanted to open a bank account, like
Mm-hmm.
a joint bank account, because we wanted to submit a proof of joint, the financial, like
Mm-hmm.
to support that we are really couple, blah, blah, blah. And then when we went to the bank said that we can't issue you, we can't add you to his account because you don't have a social security number.
Mm-hmm.
That was the bank's answer. And then I said, oh, so I called the social security office, and then security office said, yes, we can issue a social security number.
So that happened
Oh,
after your marriage?
marriage. Because when I was like filling out for the adjustment of status, I checked like what are the proof that I need to submit along with the application of adjustment of status. And it said it would be nice if you have a joint bank account, you
Mhm.
know, as
Yes,
a
yes.
husband and wife. If
Mhm,
you have, yeah, like, yeah, pretty much like the joint bank account, of course, your marriage certificate.
mhm,
And yeah, and when the bank said that they can't issue me a social, I mean, they can't add me to my husband's bank account if I don't have my social security number, then we prioritize that. And that was like a blessing in disguise somewhat, sis Jackie. I know you don't have to submit proof of, you know, the financial that
mhm,
you're really married, but because we did and we had to go to the social security office and then the pandemic happened, right?
mhm.
The processing of the work permit and the combo card took longer than the usual. So during that time, because I already have a social security ID, I was able to process for my state ID, and then I was able to process for my driver's license.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I actually did not know that part. I included my social security on my adjustment of status application, and it took a while for me to get those. And you are right. I can't open a bank account. My husband can't include me on his bank. It's because I don't have the social security. So yeah, that is very important. So there are some instances that it's because it's case to case here in the states. Every state has a different law. So some of the states, I believe, they're saying that you cannot apply for social security after your marriage, because of your status is different already. Or there are some instances that they're saying you need to apply for social security before your I-94 will expire, the stamp on your,
Ah, yes,
yeah.
that's a standard requirement right there, the I-94. You
Mhm.
need to apply for social security number before it expires because that's one of the requirements. And the
Right.
beauty with me and my husband was that I arrived here December 18, 2019, same day because of the time difference. You know, I left Philippines December 18. I arrived in the United States December 18 because Philippines is Asia, 18
Yeah.
hours ahead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so what happened was this, Jackie, where was I
And
getting
your
into?
social security, the I-94.
Ah, yeah, I-94. It's yeah. So I arrived December 18, 2020, and 2019. We got married January 8, 2020. We
Mm,
married right away. And I-94 is valid for 90 days upon
right,
arrival.
90 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did it take for your EAD and advanced parole to arrive, Sis Arlene?
Oh my gosh. Very, very long time, and it took a lot of calls to the USCIS office. I filed my adjustment of status January 26, 2020. I got my ID combo card September 3, 2020.
Mm. So how about your green card? How long did it take before you get your green card?
Oh, it took a while as well. I got my green card November 2021. I already had a daughter when
Oh.
I had my green card. Yes.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it's
but I was
only,
able to work. But I was able to work, Sis Jackie, because I already have a work permit.
yes,
And
correct.
work permit was, I think, it was only valid for 6 months, right? But you can apply for extension. So I just applied for an extension because at that time I don't have the green card yet.
Right. So
Yeah.
what about your green card, Sis Arlene? Since it's only valid for 2 years, is it still valid, or did you already apply for the removal of condition?
Oh, that's a good thing because that was 2021, right? It's gonna expire this year to
Uh-huh.
November 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I haven't submitted because I'm not allowed to file
Or
for the removal yet because you have to do that within 90 days
90
from
days
expiring.
before, before
Yeah, because if you submit too early, they're not gonna entertain your document.
they will
Yeah.
reject it. Yeah, they will
Yeah,
reject.
actually, sis Jackie, when we had our interview for the green card, we and the guy said, you know what? When you got your, I mean, when you interviewed for your green card, had it been that you're already 2 years marriage, automatically I will be granted 10 years.
Years, yeah, yeah.
Automatically, and because you're already 2 years married, and then I said we're gonna be celebrating 2 years in a matter of 2 months, right? can
Mm-hmm.
can can I just can I be qualified, kumbaga pwede hangyo?
Mm-hmm.
And then the officer said, no, I'm sorry, I can't, because the rule is 2 years. But so it would have been nicer, right, if
Right.
so I don't have to do the adjustment of, blah,
That,
blah, blah.
that's where I'm at right now, Sis Arlene. I applied for removal of conditions since August of 2021 until now. I still didn't get my green card. My 10
Oh,
years green card. Like 2 days ago, I just received another extension that they're extending it for 48 months. So I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, it
yeah.
takes
So
forever.
yeah, it would have been nicer, and sis Jackie, because how much did you pay for the removal of condition?
I think it's 700 plus
See?
700. Yeah. But I was thinking like maybe I'm just gonna apply. Right now I'm already considering in applying for a citizenship. Do you also wanted to apply soon for citizenship or
I'm actually considering of doing that, and in fact, I haven't reported my marriage.
It's okay. I think
Yeah,
it's fine. It doesn't need
yeah.
to-
The report of marriage, actually, the CFO said that you have to do that if you are really planning to be a dual citizen.
Yes.
Yeah,
But you
but
can still
so
do it at any time if you wanted to.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. So yeah, right now I haven't done that because it's not really like super like important.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the my green card November, so I need to do that sometime August to
Mm-hmm.
do my paperwork for the removal.
Yeah, I'm still reviewing. They say that it's just easy, but then you need to study about the history. So that's the part that I think is just hard. Because you don't they will ask you random question and you don't know what type of question they're gonna ask you. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm every time I'm working, I'm just listening to interview question and answer. So because I just wanted for these things to be over because I keep like it's a pain for applying over and over and over and over. So I
Yeah.
wanted to be over once I get my citizenship. But is there anything that you wanted to add that you wanted to share with our viewers this Arlene before we end this conversation and if you can also invite them for your YouTube
Uh,
channel.
oh yeah, so to everyone watching, and if you're still undecided if you're gonna do it yourself, like the processing of your visa, I I am encouraging you to do it yourself, and I'm giving you like a boost of confidence that you can really do it. Yes, it would take time for you to read the requirements, but that's pretty much it. And yeah, and enjoy your time together. Spend as much time as you can getting to know each other, and use that time to really talk about big things. Talk about like the real deal. Don't just settle for like the lovey-dovey, the whatever, those kind of things. Um ask questions, and then yeah, pretty much drill your fiance and get to really get to know, like extract the answers, that like all of the things, like don't wait till you get here in the US before you know the answers.
Right.
As much as possible, get all the answers so that you will be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you will be prepared. And yeah, for people, I know you have been listening or hearing other Filipinos saying that life in the US is really different to the life in the Philippines, and I hope you will not have you're not having like the idea that your life here is gonna be suddenly um all gonna be beds of roses, things like that, because it's pretty much not like that. My husband and I, when we first got married, we started in a 32-foot trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then eventually we moved to an apartment, and then because by the grace of God now we are owning a house. But the process of owning a house in the US was a bear as well, because the market was pretty competitive at that
Yeah.
time, yeah, when we were looking for a house. But the nice things though about the US is that I love the US, is Jackie. I love the quality of life here in the
Mm-hmm.
US, because I grew up pretty much in yeah,
Travel.
in a family where we barely have anything, you
Yeah.
know? So I really appreciate the kind of life that I am enjoying here. Yes, it's costly to live here. Yes, the tax is sometimes shocking as well, sometimes hard to swallow. But the nice thing is that if you just like work hard here, there's a lot of opportunities for you. And it's pretty much like if you are in America and then eventually you're gonna be an American citizen, you're like the world is your oyster. Like
Mhm.
suddenly your world will become a lot bigger, and you will be like, oh, there's a lot of like nice things that the life can offer. And yeah, your mind will really grow. And yeah, I know a lot of people, a lot of Western men are saying that do not take your wife, your Filipina, to the United States because she's gonna be westernized. All right, let's tackle that. Yes, she will be westernized in a way that she'll be able to express herself better. She's gonna be more assertive. But if that person is really a good person, that will still remain,
Yeah,
Sis Jackie.
they can't take it away from the person.
Yes, yes, that woman that you took from the Philippines, if she was a toxic person, all along, it'll show up, yes, but that was your fault because you were not really trying to like unveil her, while she was not in the US. If she was faking, it was your fault when you were not able to spot that while you were still dating. Because if you are bringing a Filipina, like a good Filipina from the Philippines to the US, she will still be a traditional Filipina. Yeah.
Yes. No
Even if
matter what, no matter what it brings, like for example, the new life here, the new culture, she will be still a traditional Filipina.
yes, because as the saying goes, money is not the root of all evil, but the love for money is the root of all evil. Meaning, and also money also, sis Jackie, it just what you call that, sis Jackie? It'll grow the person. I've meaning. What I'm trying to say is, if you're already a good person when you don't have a money, you will be a more good person, like a better
Perfect.
person. Yeah,
Yeah,
when you
you,
have the money.
yes,
Like
you'll
if you're
always
a
be
greedy
grateful.
person, yeah, if you're a greedy person before you have the money, you will be even greedier.
Yes,
Yeah, more
correct.
greedy when you have the money. But if you're already like giving, you're already good, when you have the money, you will be much better person.
Yes,
And
yes.
so that's just pretty much what I would say. Then of course, guide your Filipina in a way that she will not be associating with bad example
Right.
or bad influence. So me, I did not really like, we're very selective with the people that we allow into our life, is
Right.
pretty much because the people that you will be spending most of your time with, they will shape your personality, they will shape you as a person. But whether you like it or not, they will influence you.
That is correct.
So
Really
if
true.
yeah, if you so yeah, and then if your Filipina will have poor judgment, has a poor judgment of character, then you will be the person to screen the Filipina like, hey, actually, I feel something with that person. Don't spend a lot of time with that person because
Right.
yeah, I don't want you to become her. And then if your Filipina is really a good wife, she will not hang out with that person anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
and yeah, and I know and also message to foreign men who are who are very lonely and who are like right now they don't have the chance of finding a woman in the Western society because Western women has a different standard. Go to the Philippines and find a wife in the Philippines because I can guarantee you that there are women that will appreciate you. Like
Right.
like with my husband's case is Jackie. Um yeah, she was already 43 when
When
I
you
know 43 40. He was already 40 when we met online. And yeah, and of course because of the qualities of the modern Western women, he really did not see himself marrying them. And of course he also had heartbreaks when he was a little younger, and all the more he have seen like divorces left and right from the people that he knows. And he said like I don't want to go through that.
yes,
So
correct.
that's why he took the chance of finding a wife in the Philippines. And yeah, to you Western guy watching, yes, feminism has also reached the Philippines, so be careful because especially Philippines nowadays where we already have access to technology, to cell phone, to the internet. So somehow the young generation, the young ones are pretty much I would say westernized as well.
Mm.
And oh yeah, influenced with western. So be careful in screening your Filipina. If you're looking for a more traditional Filipina, yes, you can still find a traditional Filipina, and that someone who will like appreciate you of who you are, and somebody that will really respect you and will give you the full charge, in running the family. But it doesn't mean that a Filipino wife will just sit back, relax. You know what I mean? So Jackie, like, we will just let you. No,
Mhm.
yes, we will give you the full authority to run the family, but at the same time, we will also give our judgment, I mean, give our opinion and guide you, and that is the role of a wife, sis Jackie.
Right, right.
Yeah, a good submissive wife is not a yes dear
No,
yes
it's
dear
not.
wife. No, that's not the definition of submissive wife. The submissive wife submits to his husband, submits to the authority of the husband, but she will guide the husband in every decision that they do for the family. Yeah,
Right.
that's a submissive wife,
Yeah.
not the yes dear wife. Because you know what? If you are a yes dear wife, um, I I I I can guarantee you that it's not really a good thing. Like the yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Because
yeah,
like it's only
because
like one person running your family when it's a partnership.
yeah, it's a partnership, and at the same time, um, it's better to have two minds.
Yeah.
Like in deciding something, and also a man and a woman has different strengths,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
has
Yeah.
different things. So you have that, and that's how we are designed by God, says Jackie. You
Right.
have to compensate for your husband's weakness.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah. You have to compensate for your husband's weakness. At the same time, your husband will compensate your own weakness. And what happens if you will just be yes, dear, yes, dear, yes, dear? So, so what
Not
happens? Yeah, yes, he will excel in the areas where he's really good at, where he's gifted at, but in the areas where he needs your support, because that was the supposedly your role, because that was your strength that God gave you, you know? So yeah, or like yeah. So pretty much that's my message to the Filipina. And yeah,
into our
remember always that the reason why American or Western men are going to our country to look for a bride is because they're looking for somebody that will appreciate them, respect them as the husband. And so when you get here in the US, don't ever forget that, and don't be like, hey, I'm already, say for example, hey, I'm already earning more than you, I should be the one leading the family now, I should be the boss now. No, don't ever do that, because that's the quickest way to ruin your marriage.
That is right. I don't
That
even.
is the quickest way to ruin the marriage.
Yeah, that.
So don't ever do that mistake. And you, but other women will be like, but hey, Arlene, no, you're wrong. I'm a very powerful. Where you can be empowered without being without doing that to your husband. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
because deep inside this Jackie, we are wired differently
Mm-hmm.
with men, and that's how God designed us. Do not do the things that God designed men to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
even if you're saying I can do everything because I'm empowered, I'm intelligent, blah blah blah, but no, biologically, God designed us in a way that there's things that we need a man in our life.
Right. Right. I agree.
Yes.
Well,
So
thank you
that
so much for.
yeah, yeah. So that's just a reminder for women that if you want a happy life,
Mm-hmm.
is do not act, do not step into the shoes of your man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, respect your husband.
That's right. And husband will love the wife. By the way, Sis Arlene, since you that was really an interesting message for our Filipino. I like it. I like it so much because that is true. That is really true. You always need to put God in the center of your marriage, and you need to follow what He designed you to be. Like the husband needs to be a husband, and the wife needs to support the husband. So that's what God's telling us. So it was really great, Sis Arlene. I hope that
Yes.
yeah, I hope that
If
most
I
of.
may add something, sis Jackie,
Mhm.
just for the Filipino, I mean, women watching, is that be feminine, not feminists. And
Yeah.
if you would like to hear my perspective, I'd like to invite you to my channel as well. My channel is Arlene Lives. You can find it in the description box below, the link, and you will find in my channel my perspective and my experience here in Washington State, helping Filipinas or give them insights of what is it to expect when you move here in the United States, so that your transition will somehow be bearable or somehow smoother. So, and also recently, I've been doing conversations with my friends and inspiring Filipinos all over the world, because I'd really like to inspire other people and help them reach their potential in life or become the best version of themselves. That's really somewhat my calling, chart calling. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much everyone. Thank you so much, Sis Jackie, for having me tonight on your channel.
Yeah, thank you as well for being my guest for today, Sis Arlene. I appreciate you so much. You have provided us a great message as a Filipino on what are we gonna be aiming for as a wife. So thank you for that. And yeah, I hope you visit her channel. She is very inspiring. I'm inspired by Arlene, guys, whoever you're watching. So yeah, I invite you to visit her channel. You will enjoy it there. So thank you so much. And I actually do my podcast. Podcast. So I always upload every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time and Friday 7 p.m. Central Time. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to Arlene's channel and to my channel. And I will see you next time. Thank you guys. Bye
Thank
bye.
you everybody. Bye bye.